Hi, welcome to the Color and Collage workshop summary from the last class. These are summaries that I make for my students so that we can remember what happened in the time between the classes and the information is given in a more concise manner. So last class, we started off with discussing some of the images from the email list in this case. Sometimes there's a forum or a blog, but in this case, we had an email thread and just sharing color images from our lives and what those mean to us a little bit and kind of building community in that way around color. And then we moved on to the shape and descriptor word exercise. That's a terrible name for that exercise, but that was the exercise where we guessed the shape inside the bag. And then we did the vertical stripes, which is about choosing a color that steals the show or choosing a set of colors where no one steals the show. And then if time allows, we do the more of triad, practicing with values of equally spaced triads. And then we walk around the room and look at what we made together. So just to go over that exercise for the shape exercise, I think I really messed up how to do this exercise the last time. These are exercises that I make up for taking virtuosity out of the equation. And sometimes I get them a little bit confused in my head, but this one is really good. And the class before it went really well, but I think this last class I sabotaged it. So the idea is there's a set of words which are like these, right? I have a set of words, and everyone gets one of these pages. So let's say you get simple and you get vague. You get those two words at once, and then you cut those shapes and you're allowed to look at it. You look at a shape and you cut it. For example, so somebody here cut a silly shape and they cut an unusual shape. And then you put that in your bag and you hand your bag to a friend. And you have the friend guess which shape it is by not looking at it, right? Just with their hands. They can see the words silly or unusual and they guess which shape it is. And so this is just slowing down our experience and strengthening our imaginary, visual, and verbal way of thinking about art and looking and making things and the process of making. Um, so I write here, shapes can take time to reveal themselves. They can be slow, they can be fast, and all of this plays out in the way that our hand traces the shape and the way that our mind imagines what that shape looks like. They can be surprising or blatant. They can be mysterious. And so this can be as fun and as as cursory as you want it to be, but it can also be a really deep exercise if you let it. These are some examples from one of the classes of shapes that were cut: simple, vague, general, specific, boring, interesting, um, dynamic versus chaotic. So yeah, these are words that you might not immediately imagine what kind of shape would represent the relationship between them. And so it's really fun to flex these muscles. Okay, and then after we did the exercise of guessing the shapes, we did this in Albert's book. There's a bunch of extraneous extra exercises that he has buried in there, and so this is from page 48, I believe, and he suggests. So, for example, in the upper left, he suggests taking four sets of four colors, equal widths, and you can play with the scale. Generally, it's like around 8.5 by 11 or smaller. And the idea is to pick a color that stands out. So in this case, this color is the odd person out in the room. And it's fun to come up with words to talk about that for the 10 words for stealing the show: sore thumb, aberration, pee in the bed. That was a terrible phrase. That's like, I mean, like the princess and the pea idea. Uh, Anomaly, defect, deviation, unique. So these are all ways of considering how a color might stand out. And then this could be applied to shape, or it could be applied to form, or it could be applied to any visual experience. But the idea is the red herring. I'm not even sure what that really means, a red herring, but and then You could do 10 words for sameness, monochrome, flat, unmarked, vague, unmodulated. So this might have been an attempt at sameness, although it appears as if this color stands out. Um, and then once you make two where color steals the show and two where no color steals the show, then you start playing with the widths. And that can be really exciting because you start to see that the width affects which colors are calling attention to themselves. And Albers likes to point out that he feels like color is more readily visible when it's in vertical stripes. So he thinks that in horizontals, you're less able to see color interaction. So I leave that for you to consider if you think that the color is easier to see when it's vertical or when it's horizontal. So that is the general synopsis. Thanks. Looking forward to seeing everybody this week.